Hey, welcome everyone to Financial Revolution Radio. I am your host, Jaden Sterling. Good to see you today. It is Monday, October 26th. Whew, time is flying by, my friend. And we're seeing so much happening in the market. But today is not about the markets. It's about you and reducing that nasty four-letter word, which is debt. Starts with the D, the big D, debt. We need to get out of it. We need to figure out how to do that, create a plan, and make it happen. So let's do it. Let's get started today. By the way, this show is sponsored by Sterling Stock Picker. It is revolutionary software that is designed to help you pick winning stocks and to show you when to sell. It's great if you're new to investing. It's some of the best software I've ever seen out there. And you can go to sterlingstockpicker.com and grab your 14-day trial. All right, so let's get started. I was thinking about this topic. It's a big topic, and debt can be a very confusing and upsetting thing. If you have it, it's challenging to overcome it, to reduce it, because it's easy to get into the type of behavior that just keeps allowing debt to build up. And the key is, when you're reducing debt, is to first break this thing down into simple steps. Like I mentioned, it's confusing, it's overwhelming. And depending on how much you have and how long you've been accumulating debt, it can be one of those things that just feels like you can't ever get out from underneath it. But this is all about having financial freedom in your life. That's why it's called Financial Revolution Radio. And so I want to talk about the 3 simple steps to get out of debt. So step 1 has to do, it only makes sense, is to know the difference between good debt and bad debt. Did you know there's a difference? There actually is. There's a huge difference. Good debt, I define good debt as something that is going to bring more money to you. It can be, for example, student loans. If you went to school, college, and you got either a college degree or secondary degree, postgraduate degree, then the hope is that those degrees will help you get a better paying job, therefore put more money in your pocket. I would define that as a good debt, something that is going to contribute to your net worth and to your income. Very different than, let's say, a bad debt, which is, for example, credit cards. You know this, I'm not telling you anything new here. But what most people don't realize is credit cards employ a strategy called compounded interest, which means if you're not paying the amount, not the minimum amount, because that's what most people do. They look at their credit card statement and go, oh, okay, I just have to pay $50 this month, no problem. But that's probably not covering all of the interest charges on your credit card. What you have to do is look at what was the total interest charge for the previous 30 days and make sure you pay that amount plus an additional dollar amount, so that you're lowering, you're chipping away at that debt. Studies have shown that if you're only making the minimum payment on your credit card, it can take up to 28 or 32 years, depending on what kind of credit card you have, to actually get it paid off. And you know what? You don't want to be living with that over your head your whole life, right? So first things first, got to figure out, is this debt good debt or is it bad debt? And if it's bad debt, you want to go right into paying that thing down. One other kind of debt that can be good debt, I would consider a mortgage. If, of course, in today's interest rate environment, the rates are very, very low. And with housing, the real estate market increasing like it is, that could actually be a very good debt for you. It could be something that continues, if it continues to go up in value, that you get to take advantage of that increase in value as rates go up as a homeowner. So there's a couple debts that are excellent and others that aren't. So step number 1, discern between the two. Again, anything that either puts money in your pocket or goes up in value or adds to your income, I would consider a good debt. So everything else would fall under the bad debt category, which is debt that is credit cards, lines of credit, retail charge cards. I would even consider gas credit cards bad debt. Those are something that should be used infrequently and focused on paying them off quickly. So once you figure out what's good debt and what's bad debt, the next step is to create a plan to pay off that debt. Now, there's two ways to do that, or two ways that I find that are the most effective. Mint.com, mint.com is a great platform which allows you to create financial goals and track your financial goals. So if you add all your credit card accounts on mint.com and create a goal of paying that credit card off in, let's say, 6 months, every month it's going to track how much you've paid off that credit card and how close or far away you are from that goal. It just is a nice way, kind of a thing to keep you on track. It just helps you create a plan. It helps you follow through with that plan. And as you know, anything that you monitor can be improved. But if you turn a blind eye to it and don't focus on it, then that's a problem, isn't it? So the other way to do this is if you're not comfortable getting onto a software program platform like Mint, is you can go right to a spreadsheet, something like this. This is something that we've created, in fact, for our students, which allows you to track your, as you can see here, your liabilities, which are unsecured credit cards, and secured debt. So whatever you owe, you just type it in here on this spreadsheet. You can type in your credit cards, charge accounts, student loans, child support, other accounts payable. Anything that you owe would go into something like this, a spreadsheet like this. Now, we've created this for our students, but you can have a very simple spreadsheet that just shows the name of the credit card, the issuer of that credit card, the current balance, current interest rate, and their phone number. You want all of this data in one place. Why? Because you can track your credit card balances as you go to see every month, are they increasing or are they decreasing? So that would be a really powerful way to keep track and to follow, making sure that you're on track with your goals that you set for paying off your credit cards. This is also, remember on that spreadsheet, I said to post your interest rate that you're paying. The reason is if you're paying anything, if any of your unsecured debt is financed at a rate of greater than 15%, you'll want to take, which is step number 3, action, which is call that credit card company and ask to have your rates lowered. Now, credit card companies won't lower your rates unless you ask. You have to ask. They're not just gonna, go across the board and just lower everyone's interest rates. That's not how it works. They want to keep charging you as high of a rate as they possibly can. And so in the meantime, as you're starting to pay down that debt, you can easily go from 22 to 14% right now. I think the going rate, as long as you haven't skipped any payments. If you're current with your payment schedule and you've been on track and you've been able to keep up with your payments, then you can easily call and ask them to lower the rate, and they'll do it really quickly. It's easy. If they don't, if they say no, call back the next day and get someone else on the phone, because it should be a very simple thing to accomplish right now in the marketplace in such a low interest rate environment. So refinance everything you can right now at these historic low rates. We're never going to see mortgage rates at these rates again. in the US and Canada. I'm sure this applies to other parts of the world, but I'm talking North America. You can get in Canada a mortgage at 1.9, less than 2%. In the States, they're right around 2.79%. So slightly higher, but wow, these rates are unbelievable. Now, these rates also go for any automobile loans you have, any type of mortgage or second mortgage, whatever you've got financed, anything that you have financed that you pay interest on, call that lender and say, look, I really want a better rate because I know they're out there, and they are. So I don't think you'll have much resistance or pushback. Simply follow through and start making those phone calls. That every percentage that you save on interest is a direct, and keep your payments the same because that extra money is going to go right toward the principal of that loan. Speaking of principal of loan, if you have a mortgage, you'll want to make sure that you're paying that mortgage payment every 2 weeks. It's the same monthly payment, but the payment comes out every 2 weeks out of your bank account. That saves you, just that one strategy alone will save you 7 years, 7 years of payments on your mortgage. It's like unbelievable how powerful that is. So don't go with a monthly pay, go with a, bi-monthly, every 2 weeks, twice a month, pay down something, make a payment to that mortgage. And you're going to start to see some incredible cost savings and a shorter time on that mortgage. Third step, take action. Now, this is all about lowering debt, this show. So as you start to focus on paying down debt, what you want to do initially is take all those credit cards that you've been using, get a Tupperware container, put a little water in there, put your cards in there, and then stick it in the freezer. Seriously, it works. You want to freeze your debt. Why is that? Well, first of all, energetically, it freezes that so it doesn't grow, right? And secondly, in order to physically use the card, you'd have to stand there, right, with the card, big ice cube, and blow dry this credit card in order to get that ice to melt off, to either take it with you to use or to use it online to call. So you want to make it harder for yourself to not use that card. And don't keep your number somewhere where you can easily just, still use that credit card. You want to make it as difficult as possible. That's huge to instill better habits, better behaviors while you're chipping away at that debt. So, all right, next is allocate money every single month to paying down a credit card. The biggest mistake I see when people have multiple cards multiple debt obligations, they focus on paying all of them down at once. And first of all, that's super overwhelming. You didn't get into debt overnight. It was a process. It took time. In order to unravel that process, we need time and we need focus. Time and focus are your allies when it comes to paying down or reducing debt. So what you'll do is you'll start with the highest interest rate debt obligation that you have. More than likely, it's a credit card. And start with one card, and every month pay a certain amount extra. Remember, make sure that your interest rate is being met, and then pay an extra amount toward that card to reduce that debt. Super important, and stick to it. Focus on one. Then eventually in time, that credit card will be paid off and you'll start to feel like, okay, I can do this. I accomplished this, right? I'm reducing my debt, and you feel good. And that feel good feeling will help spark you to go to your next credit card and the next. And in the meantime, you simply don't add any new debt to your financial picture. You're doing your very best to say no to any credit card offerings, because here's the tricky thing, this is how they get you. As you pay off credit cards, your FICO score, your actual credit score goes up. And no shocker there, right? And when your credit score goes up, guess what? So do all the credit card offerings that have been companies have been wanting to send you start rolling into your email or to your mailbox. Be wary of those. Make sure you cancel the subscription. Make sure you get off their email list. Tell them you do not want any type of new credit card. Be really diligent about this and then learn. So this is a two-step process. This is paying off debt that you've originally accumulated and invoking better spending habits, period, so that you will not incur new debt. So essentially, you're going to retrain yourself, and you're going to train yourself to do what's called live within your means. Do you know what that means? It means only spend money that you have. Very, very, very important. Only spend money that you have. So if you find that you don't have money, extra money coming in at the end of the month, then you have to recognize that ask yourself, is this a want or a need, right? If you're going out and getting ready to use your credit card, like let's say, for example, you like clothes and you like to clothes shop because you're into retail therapy. Hey, a lot of people are, no judgment here. But you're into retail therapy, you've had a bad day and you're like, oh, I just need to buy something new to wear to work tomorrow. Okay, so before you go out and buy that new thing, first look in your closet and ask yourself, do I already have, that one thing? Do I already have a blouse like that or a shirt like that or a leather jacket like that or a belt like that? Like if I already have, like if you can answer yes to that you've already have that, then wouldn't it make sense that you don't need another one? We really have to get control of our emotions. I think that's the number one thing. I guess that would be step number 4 in this whole step-by-step process. Would be step 4 is, there are 4 steps here. Sorry for the misleading title, but that just came to me. 4 steps, and the 4th is get a hold of your emotions. The retail therapy lasts for a very short period of time. The benefit is short-lived because afterwards you're stuck with the payment for that retail therapy purchase. So focus on doing things that make you feel better beyond shopping. Maybe it's go outside for a walk if you've had a bad day, or take a hot bath and read a book if you've had a bad day, or, go to the park with your pet. Do something other than shop, something other than spend money. You've got to break the cycle that is contributing to your debt situation. And as difficult as this sounds, and I know this doesn't sound fun because, boy, it is so fun to go out and spend money. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. And you can't have both. If you truly are a financial revolutionist, which I think you are if you're listening to this radio show and this podcast, if you truly are, then you're someone who's interested in a different life, a life that not everyone is caught up in. A lot of the huge percentage of the population are caught up in keeping up with the Joneses. And we don't even know who the Joneses are, and who cares? We don't even like the Joneses. Do we? I don't know. Do you? I don't know. I don't even know who they are. Maybe I should reserve the judgment for whether or not I can figure out who these people are that we're all trying to keep up with. But most importantly is probably our neighbors or our friends, right? There's a certain bit of emotional payoff when we start to do things and that keeps up with these folks that we refer to as the Joneses. So, the next column on here is the asset column. Those are the things that I mentioned that go up in value. These are the things that actually put money in your pocket. So this would be on the asset. Keep track of your assets as much as you do your liabilities. Very important, because if you're just focused on debt and minimizing, it's great to minimize debt, but you're going to start to see this dwindle. It's going to go down. And it needs to be offset with a growth of assets, things that you personally have that are going up in value. Track this as much as you track your expenses or liabilities. It's worth the attention and the effort, right? As you start to see these things go up, it's going to make you feel better. This alone will give you some type of dopamine hit, some type of payoff as you look at your investments and your assets increasing. And when you start to focus on this increasing, especially if you're like in your 40s or 50s, now is the time. You don't have time to waste, right? You really have to focus on being very, very clear about where your money is and what it's doing and what interest rates you are paying. Very, very big key here. So as you navigate this debt structure, this payoff thing, as I mentioned, step one is you're going to look at what's a good debt versus a bad debt. Anything that you see on this page on the asset column, these are good things. Good. They're not debt, but they're investments. They're assets. They put money in your pocket. And by the way, if you want one of these spreadsheets, just send me an email. I'm happy to email it to you. You can start filling this in. It's easy to type in, let's say you put in a number here, $500 in your checking account. And then when you go to view dashboard, see that $500 just popped up there. So it's fun to watch this. It's fun to see these numbers go up. And that's essential as you start to make headway in your finances, in your paying off your debt. So that's number one, discern between the two. Do I have a good debt here or is it a bad debt? Step two is create a plan. You do this through these spreadsheets or through any type of Microsoft document, Excel spreadsheet. Start tracking your what you owe, right? It's been proven. What we monitor and what we focus on can change. That's the only way to improve it. It's like if you were, wanting to lose weight. The only way to really improve that, there's two ways. There's a number on a scale and there's how are my clothes fitting, right? So as we apply this to your finances, we got to look at what is going to make the biggest impact. Step three is take action. We want you to freeze your credit cards, stop using them, create different behaviors and strategies with that. And of course, call every single lender you have right now and ask them to lower your interest rate. Again, my name's Jaden Sterling. I hope this was helpful. This show is 100% self-funded and no promotional whatsoever for any other products. We focus on what empowers people financially to achieve your goals, and that is the Sterling Stock Picker, my friends. SterlingStockPicker.com, 14-day free trial. Try it out. We teach you how to buy, even if you're brand new to investing. You don't have to know a darn thing about investing. You just jump in here. Let me show you real quickly, how amazing this software is. This is what we call our dashboard. And check this out. We just launched this feature today. This is our performance. We have stocks called the SSP, Sterling Stock Picker 5-star stocks. Our stocks are up 323% over the averages. So, here's the different sectors on the bottom here. As you can see, basic materials is up 5%. Our 5-rated stock, 25%. The largest return that we've got is a 45%, 45.39% in healthcare. The last 30 days, healthcare is up only 4.7%. Look at the different returns. Our stocks are crushing it. We're knocking it out of the ballpark. So as you start to put your toe in the water with buying stocks, I'll do lots of shows coming up here on how to buy and sell stocks. This is where you want to go. You want to go to a platform that is done for you. Super easy. I'm going to show you here how to take it for a quick spin. If you're looking for, all right, show me a stock that's a winner, you just go right down here to our North Star stock rating. And we're going to show you a stock right now. Look at this. This stock market's down today, huge. But we're going to show you winning stocks. Equity Bank shares up 1.3%. It's a buy rating, below average risk, which is always good. And check out that stock. The stock price is $18.73 today. So it's certainly outperforming the markets because the markets are down big right now. So you're looking at a stock that we're going to show you stocks that are above all their averages. That's how you find winning stocks. It's got to be trading above its average, above the EMA, SMA, and all that good stuff. And as you can see, blue line is the stock price, 1921 for this particular company, well above the long-term average, SMA 200, and all the shorter-term averages. So you don't have to know that right now, but I'll be doing lots of videos in the near future that will share with you how to find these winning stocks by using this software. And we're still a new software company, so it's super affordably priced. You get that 14-day freebie. Jump in there, check it out. Again, that's sterlingstockpicker.com. Thanks so much for your support. If you like this content and you want to see or hear more, please give me a comment in the comments. Let me know what you are interested in hearing. What information do you need? Today was a big day about reducing debt. And I gave you ended up being 4 steps, 4 simple steps to reduce debt in order to live a life financially free. So thank you so much. I'll see you on the next episode.